The work that we do really focuses on the relationship between population change and environment change. When I started at Duke in 2011, I started a new project in Madre de Dios under the typical hypothesis that I used in the northern Amazon, which was basically that new road construction causes the expansion of vector-borne disease. Basque Connections was instrumental for establishing the research that we have in Madre de Dios on the ground.
The Basque students are usually students from undergraduate or graduate students from different backgrounds, biology, global health, and medicine. So we get them involved in our projects that are ongoing in the region, and we get them involved in these projects, and also they develop their own small projects within our big projects.
The thing that we provide that's very different through BAS is actually allowing the students to interact with mothers, children, healthcare providers, parents, the people who live and work on the ground every single day and the problems that they have, and understand that development isn't just a made-up word that has very little meaning. It actually has a lot of significance to people who are beneficiaries of the policies and programs that we can provide, and we can provide evidence for.
So I discovered the Basque Connections program through the Duke Global Health Institute. It was an opportunity for me to combine my two passions, international relations and global health. And I got to implement in the field what I had learned in the classroom previously here at Duke.
That project, very quickly we learned that the true problems that were existing in Madre de Dios really had to do with gold mining and the issues associated with gold mining, not just economic issues, but environmental issues and toxicological issues. We knew that they were using mercury for extracting the gold out of the sediment and out of the soils that are along the watershed. This was something that we knew was causing massive changes in nutrition. And then once we saw in small samples that fish mercury levels were high, human hair and exposure levels were high, we expanded our studies and we looked at other exposures in different parts of the region. And what we basically found was that 42% of the entire regional population has a mercury level that exceeds the World Health Organization safe thresholds for mercury exposure. 78% were above the US EPA threshold limits for safety. We presented our research to the former Minister of Health. By May of 2016, they declared a state of emergency. And now that the new Minister of Health, Patty Garcia, has been appointed with the new president of Peru, she is really taking the lead in trying to address the heavy metal exposures across Peru. Our team is leading the research on mercury exposures in Madre de Dios, and it's very recognized that we're the experts and we provide the expertise for mercury exposures for most of the country of Peru. If we didn't have Basque Connections, we would not be able to make those strong collaborations that we have on the ground with NGOs, Peruvian universities, with the Minister of Health, because our Basque students really help us engage the communities in that way.
Working with different people from Duke was an amazing experience. We all had very different backgrounds, both from a cultural point of view, but also a professional and an educational point of view. What was great is that we discovered that in the field we complemented each other, and we really learned how to use the strength of every person to the best of our abilities.
Global health fieldwork experience that was provided to me through Basque Connections, I think really allowed me to see what it's like to be in the field, where you cannot control all the variables that are coming into play, where you have to interact with individuals, where you have to learn where they're coming from, understand their necessities, and at the end of the day, really try to make a difference in this world.
We want to develop policies and interventions that improve health and simultaneously provide sustainable solutions for the environment. The addition of Basque Connections is a way to get students involved in that research and policy arena. If we can demonstrate that a country that's emerging from a developed status to a more developed status, and if they can create policies that sustain their environment while growing economically, improving health indicators, that would be a success that could be a model for other countries.